Oh wow, turns out Caitlin Clark it was not just a strain, and it was an injury. Oh wow, this is not good. This is not good at all. Out for a minimum of 2 weeks.
Caitlin Clark is out with a left quad strain. How many games will the Indiana Fever star miss? And what does this mean for the MVP race? The Fever season is suddenly on the line, and the league's biggest story just took a major twist. Let's break it down.
So this is being reported like wildfire, and it has just broken that Caitlin Clark is out with a left quad strain. Now, she was out also with a quad issue in one preseason game, which was the first game that Caitlin Clark had ever missed in her collegiate or professional career, though it was not an in-season game, and that was also due to tightness in her quad.
It all started during Saturday's thriller against the defending WNBA champions, the New York Liberty. Caitlin Clark was electric, dropping 18 points and dishing out 10 assists, doing everything in her power to push the Fever to a statement win. But what fans didn't see was what happened after the final buzzer. Behind the scenes, Clark reported discomfort in her leg. She played the full game, even taking the final shot a potential game winner, but something just didn't feel right. Head coach Stephanie White later revealed she had something going on with her leg. I'm glad she said something. Sometimes great players don't tell you when they're hurting. An MRI confirmed the worst, a strained left quadriceps.
This is an actual quad strain. According to reports, it is not the same injury, though it is kind of odd that it is on the same muscle. And depending on the grade, they're graded grades 1, 2, and 3. Grade 3 needs surgery. 2 weeks, I think, would be the minimum that she would be out with a quad strain.
Behind the scenes, Clark reported discomfort in her leg. She played the full game, even taking the final shot a potential game winner, but something just didn't feel right. Head coach Stephanie White later revealed she had something going on with her leg. I'm glad she said something. Sometimes great players don't tell you when they're hurting. An MRI confirmed the worst, a strained left quadriceps. Now, for the first time in her pro career, Caitlin Clark is being sidelined.
According to Chloe Peterson, she reports the Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark has suffered a left quadriceps strain and will be out for a minimum of 2 weeks, the team announced today. Further updates will be provided as available following re-evaluation.
The MVP race just flipped, and Caitlin Clark's injury is the turning point. Before the quad strain sidelined her, Clark wasn't just in the MVP conversation, she was leading it, averaging 19 points, 9 assists, and 6 rebounds per game. She was doing things the league has never seen from a rookie. Her combination of scoring, court vision, and pace of play was transforming the Indiana Fever from bottom dwellers into playoff hopefuls. Fans were buying in. Analysts were calling it historic. And sportsbooks like FanDuel and DraftKings were making her the betting favorite. But the moment her injury was confirmed, everything changed. Odds shifted overnight. Suddenly, Clark's name slipped from the top. And Napheesa Collier, the Minnesota Lynx star having a phenomenal season of her own, shot up to claim the front-runner status. Right behind her, A'ja Wilson, the two-time MVP who's been dominant on both ends of the floor all year long. For Clark, the timing couldn't be worse. Missing a stretch of 4 critical games, including a high-profile matchup against Angel Reese in Chicago, means lost stats, lost spotlight, and potentially lost momentum in what was shaping up to be a historic MVP campaign. And let's not forget, voters noticed durability, especially in a tight race like this one. So now the question isn't just when will Clark return, it's can she regain the ground she's lost in the MVP chase before the season ends? Or has this injury opened the door wide enough for someone like Collier or Wilson to sprint through and slam it shut?
People are noting that a grade 1 quad strain is 1 to 2 weeks, a grade 2 quad strain is 3 to 6 weeks, and grade 3s would need surgery. This is not like the end of the world of injuries at all. I think what is so dark about this is that Caitlin Clark will definitely be missing a lot of basketball in a short WNBA season. Obviously, the best thing to do is to rest her.
Caitlin Clark isn't just putting up points. She's the one orchestrating the entire offense, her 9. 3 assists per game don't just lead the team, they completely overshadow the rest of the roster. To put it in perspective, The next closest teammate is averaging just 2.3 assists. That's not just a gap, that's a canyon. Clark's court vision, her ability to read defenses, and her knack for creating plays out of thin air have become the Fever's lifeline. Without her, Indiana loses its tempo setter, its floor general, and its emotional leader. Plays that usually run smoothly now become question marks. Fast breaks slow down, spacing collapses, and the team's offensive chemistry, which had been steadily improving, is suddenly under major stress. So while the box score might reflect missing 19 points a night, the real damage goes much deeper. This isn't just about production, it's about identity. And now, the Fever have to find a way to stay competitive without the player who makes everything work. So now, with Caitlin Clark on the sidelines, the spotlight shifts. And it shifts fast. All eyes are on Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, and the rest of the Fever's supporting cast. The question is simple. Can they carry the weight? Mitchell, a proven scorer, will need to elevate her playmaking, Boston. The reigning Rookie of the Year must anchor both ends of the floor, and the bench? It has to step up like never before.
The only bright side is the timing of the injury, at least for the way that the game is going, because we are all hoping for the best for Caitlin Clark. This is nowhere near the level of an ACL injury, so she can come back and still be like the explosive playmaker, the explosive three-point shooter, the explosive player that she is.
But let's be absolutely crystal clear. This is not a season-ending injury, and this definitely isn't panic mode. What we're seeing from the Indiana Fever is strategy. It's prevention. It's smart, long-term thinking. They're not reacting emotionally. They're planning with precision. This quad strain, while unfortunate, isn't being treated as a catastrophe. It's being handled like what it truly is, a small setback for a massive investment. Because Caitlin Clark isn't just another top draft pick or a breakout rookie, she's a once-in-a-generation talent who's already redefining what it means to be a superstar in the WNBA. She's the cornerstone of the Indiana Fever franchise, carrying the hopes and dreams of a team hungry for a return to glory. Beyond that, she's becoming the future face of the entire league, a player whose name and style of play are capturing national attention and inspiring the next generation of athletes. Her impact is undeniable. In just a few months, Clark has revolutionized fan engagement. Merchandise bearing her name and signature flying off shelves, arenas filling up like never before, and television ratings climbing steadily with every Fever game she plays. She's transforming casual viewers into passionate fans, and skeptics into believers. Her electrifying style, a mix of deep-range shooting, fearless drives, and pinpoint passing, is thrilling audiences and shifting the narrative around women's basketball. And perhaps most importantly, she's doing all this while still being a rookie, showing maturity, leadership, and composure beyond her years. The buzz around Clark isn't just about the stats she puts up. It's about the energy she brings to the court and the spotlight she shines on the entire league. In many ways, she's becoming the WNBA's ambassador to a broader audience, helping to grow the sport in ways few players have before her. That's why the Fever aren't risking it. Not for a couple regular season games, not even for MVP chatter. They're thinking bigger. They're protecting the health of a player who could redefine their franchise for the next 10 years, maybe longer. And while her absence creates uncertainty, it also opens the door for growth. For Aaliyah Boston to lead more assertively in the paint. For Kelsey Mitchell to step into a starring role and carry the scoring load. For younger players and role players to rise to the occasion. This is where a team builds depth, chemistry, and confidence without having to rely on just one star. So yes, this moment may feel like a setback, but it might be exactly what the Fever need to become a stronger, more resilient unit. Because when Caitlin Clark returns, it won't just be a comeback. It'll be a resurgence. One that could carry this team further than anyone expected. But here's the real concern. What if this 2-week absence turns into 3 or 4? That changes everything. It could derail Caitlin Clark's MVP campaign. It could stall Indiana's playoff momentum in a tightly packed standings race. And perhaps most significantly, it could delay the WNBA's most anticipated storylines, the rising rookie versus veteran MVP battles, the Clark versus Reese rivalry, the fever pitch of fan engagement that's sweeping across the league. Still, adversity reveals character. And this is Caitlin Clark's first true professional challenge off the court. No cameras. No highlight reels. Just recovery, patience, and mental toughness. But if the Fever can hold the line and stay competitive in her absence, and if Clark returns with the same fire we've seen all season, then this setback might not be the end of the story. It could be the beginning of a legendary comeback.